Hi guys, welcome back to the channel here on Jared Gunson TV. I've been receiving quite a few questions in the last 24 hours, so today we will be doing part 2 of taking some questions from Facebook. All right, welcome back. So let's just pretty much just kick straight into this. Question 1 from Glenn. Does it have USB audio or do you have to use the Bluetooth adapter? USB audio and Bluetooth adapter are two very different things. But I think you're referring to just playing music through it. If you use the USB cable, which I have mine plugged into right now, your computer will automatically register it as a sound card and you'll be able to use it as an audio interface. You can put the Bluetooth adapter on it, but that is for doing things like the app. Question number 2. Is there a pedalboard mode? Well, if we go over here, it's a top down. That's exactly what I've got assigned here. I use, instead of bank up and bank down, I use this as a tuner. And I've currently got it set to -1 for this particular guitar. And then I set this as a global, manual mode, which is basically what pedalboard mode was before they released pedalboard mode. A lot of guys were using these as individual stomp boxes. All right, so there you go. So yes, it has got a pedalboard mode known as manual mode. And if you set it up correctly like this, you can then go between your patches and then be able to pull up each individual manual mode, which is basically what you're referring to as pedalboard mode. Can you confirm we can record dry and wet signal at the same time with the USB input, and that we can reamp dry signal coming from a DAW? Thanks. From Jerome. Okay, guitar volume is off, and now if we play these back, you should be hearing that through my mic. I'm obviously, I need to do a whole routing thing for you to hear through my DAW. And then the dry track. And now that dry track is obviously going out of main, but if we wanted to, let's see if we can set up a second output. Add a stereo. Sub 1, and if we had to then send this dry out of sub 1, there you go. There's your answer. Yes, you can. Another question from Jerome. So I have another question. Can we put the looper in front of the effects chain so that we can record a dry loop and work on the tone without having to play? I'm sure you can. Let's actually go. Could put it in there like that. And then you would just have to set one of your assigns to loop it. So yes, you can move the looper wherever you need it to be. Okay, when can you expect a manual and the BTS GX-100 software? It'll be officially released as soon as the orders probably start going out. But there is definitely software. Is it capable of sending CC messages? I'm sure it is. And this was in connection with the question you asked about changing channels on a Mesa head, for example. If we go into the software again, and then we go under, sorry, not menu, under assigns. I don't know how Where is assigns? Control. Assign. Let's say, for example, MIDI CC number. And then that will probably CC number, actual. There you go. All the way up to 127. There's your CCs. And then you can assign that to 1, 2, 3, 4, manual 1, 2, 3, 4, current number, bank up, back down, and the 4 controls, or even expression pedals. So there you go. Yes, you can. On another question I have is about DSP limitation. You addressed in your first video when you added many reverbs. That was very helpful. You're most welcome. My question is, if you are having dual amp signal change, do you reach the DSP limit faster when you add effects block? I would go ahead and probably say to that, yes and no. I did ask about this, so I could give you guys an official response to that. Both the GT1000/Core and GX-100 units feature a 32-bit floating point processor, which provides the same amount of power for low latency and instant seamless response. However, the GT1000 or Core has 32-bit 96 kHz ADDA, whilst GA100 has 24-bit 48 kHz ADDA. This means the GT1000 or Core has a higher resolution of audio. Patches are not interchangeable on the units due to that. And what was added on top of that when I had my discussion about this was basically how I showed in my previous video, where you just can't add anymore. That's its way of letting you know. But the device will not, the device doesn't have a sort of limit. It has a limit, but it doesn't have like a meter, like I've seen on some of the other things before. So it just won't let you add more, but it won't affect the sound or the feel or the latency that you're going to get. Latency was mentioned. I hope that helps with that one. All right, next. Can it be operated fully manual without touching the color screen? Yes, because you've got all these buttons here, as well as your select here. You've got your writing here, your control expression, your input settings, your menu, your effects, your menu, your effects. I program most of my sounds using these because I wasn't used to using the touchscreen. And only the more I got into it did I start doing things like scrolling, for example, like that. So I'm pretty sure it's pretty capable. I mean, if you go into effects, you see, as I turn the select button, it selects the next icon. So yes, you probably could. Otherwise, there's always USB. Next question. I think we're getting towards the end now. On another question, what are the difference between Simple Reverb and the Reverb Plus? I heard you said the Plus were from the GT1000. What's the difference? Is it the quality? Is it better? Are the parameters different, etc.? Okay, so this one I think we should go to desktop for. All right, so these are the parameters for the shimmer. You can have a look through those. Let's turn these all off. Shimmer sounds a little bit like this. Then we got Reverb Plus, and if we start at the top, we got Whole Small. And once again, you can see all the parameters over here. Or medium. plate. Room small and large. Ambience, these are different to the regular reverb. And then spring. Ugh, never been a fan of spring reverb. All right, then, so that is Reverb Plus, that is Reverb Shimmer, and then this is the regular reverb, which just says whole small. And here are the parameters here for this particular module. Okay, and then we've got plate. And then we've got room and studio. And then studio, which I first saw about on the IR200, which I was quite jealous that they had. So now we got it on the GX. Okay, so I think that should pretty much answer that question for you. The question is tone-wise, is there a difference between the GT1000 and this? Now, I did comment to this already, and I did say that I had a video planned for this, and I still will, because I still want to do my own sort of opinion on what I think the pedal is like, doing a couple of shows with it and spending the time with it and helping you guys out with it. To me, there definitely is a difference, and I can't put into words because I don't understand what goes into the mechanisms and whatnot. But sound-wise, I'm just going to play you a few. I'm going to play you my patches. Yep, so there you go. There's a couple of snips for you. Is the GX-100 better than the GT-1000 on bass? That one I'm going to save for another video where I'm going to set up a couple of sounds for the bass. But at this point in time, I can't comment because I haven't tried the bass stuff yet. I suppose my question would be, what was the point of this thing? It's a fair question. I think it's just flagship quality at a good price point. But disclaimer, Boss are not calling this flagship. To me, it's flagship. But to you, it might not do enough routing. You might want the extra processor, the 32-bit. You know, you might want the stereo loop. You might want to be able to send a stereo signal to stage and a stereo signal to front of house with different IRs, whereas this only allows the 2 amps, and you would have to run 2 mono signals to send one to stage and one out front. So I think it really just depends on what your needs are. For my needs, where those sounds you just heard are literally the only 4 sounds that I need to do a gig, I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. I don't need any more. I think that's about it. Yes, this question from Dimitris. This is all about latency, and that's why I included it in the previous question where I was asked about DSP and the more things you add, does it run out? And that's why I wanted to include his question into that answer. So I think I've answered your question there as well. But yeah, that statement that I read out earlier on Notepad, that was what I got from Boss, just in regards to latency and DSP. Yep, and that is it. So I hope that this has helped you understand a little bit more. If you got some more questions, feel free to just leave them on down below. My review will come, but at this point in time, I'm just getting to know the unit so I can give you guys the most honest and the most transparent rundown of how this thing works. To me, I don't need to have my GT-1000 anymore because this does all that it does. I personally prefer the sound of this module, but that's my personal opinion. You will have yours, and I'm not saying go and sell your GT-1000 and buy this. You might prefer the routing and the tone of that processor, but I don't, like I said, I don't know what it is, but I like the sound of this one. And just a disclaimer, my overdrive, which is this sound, and this sound, those are my favorite impulse responses from ML Sound Lab, and they range. Actually, I can show you the 3 that I have that I go through on here. I used to be massive into the Friedman, but lately on this pedal, the Bogner is the one I seem to be drawn to. So I hope that helps, and please leave some more questions. I don't mind doing as many parts as you guys have questions for me to do. So if you don't mind, leave a comment, leave a like, maybe subscribe. Check out my other stuff on Boss, tutorials on the GT-1000, a couple of playthroughs on the Katana, and my VE500 playlist seems to be doing quite well. So if you're looking for a pedal for a vocalist, go check that out as well. But I'll check you guys next time, man, and I'll see you in the groups. Cheers.